Morning, Marietta. Special guest with me today on Ballroom News, Superintendent Grant Rivera, and a very, very special alumni who lives behind us. And Dr. Rivera is going to talk about if he really got his diploma. That's a whole other issue for another day. We're actually here to talk about COVID-19 vaccines, and we're going to have some special guests in the building today, not only this morning, but in the afternoon from the CDC. But we want to get some information on where Marietta City Schools are in terms of the vaccine. So I'm going to kick it over to the superintendent. Give us some information about where we are, boss, with the superintendent and our vaccines.
Well, honored to be with all of our students and our staff and here in the ballroom as part of Ballroom News. So here's what I wanted to share, and staff, we've sent some of this to you via email. I'll also reiterate it now. We've got a special guest here I'll introduce in just a moment, but Marietta City Schools is doing everything we know to do to be prepared for once educators are cleared to receive the vaccine. Right now, currently, educators are a part of the 1B group. Quite candidly, that's not good enough for me, and it's not good enough for many of the Metro Atlanta superintendents. We have been advocating with the governor's office in recent weeks. We have a meeting on Monday with Dr. Toomey from Department of Public Health, and we look to reach back out to the governor's office next Wednesday. But as we wait for the bureaucratic process, as we wait for the governor to hopefully consider moving educators earlier, which is what we've been leading and what we've been advocating for, we're not waiting around. So I wanted to introduce a dear friend of ours. Thomas Scherer is from Pools Pharmacy. He also happens to be a 2005 graduate here from Marietta High School. I will be taking emails from staff later about any dirt on Thomas.
Yes.
Maybe he didn't pass a class. Maybe he didn't turn in an assignment back when he was here. And I thought it was really interesting, Mr. Ball, you may not know this, but Thomas was part of the first freshman class here in this building. So again, teachers, feel free to send me any dirt you have on Thomas, but the reason we bring him here, other than to give him a hard time, is that Thomas reached out and engaged us and said, listen, we want to help the staff here in Marietta across all of our Marietta schools the second that we are cleared to get vaccinated. So we actually were meeting here this morning, not just for this show, but we're meeting here this morning to walk campus because our hope is that we could use Marietta High School, if we get permission to do such, for a drive-through facility that Thomas, you and your staff are going to be coordinating on behalf of our teachers. So I first wanted to say thank you, and then certainly I want to invite you to share any thoughts about how you think we could approach this. I know our educators are intently listening.
Well, first and foremost, I think since it is 2005, that has been about 15, 16 years. So luckily, some of my teachers have retired, so you might not get as much
We'll
dirt
find
as
them.
you would.
We will find them.
But one of the things I'm glad to be partnering with y'all. You know, we've worked over the years to do and deliver the flu shots, and it's always been about the ease of kind of taking that one thing off the teacher's plate of having to go somewhere and get one. But it's also been about the safety and the protection of the staff. So we go to each school and do flu shots every year, and that's kind of the same thing. You and I got on the phone and started talking and said, look, what can we do to deliver this? And let's make sure it's quick, it's efficient, and also let's make sure that we get the staff taken care of. Let's make sure we get the teachers taken care of. I know that there have been a lot of challenges for teachers and students, learning this whole new pandemic world, learning virtually, things like that. But at the end of the day, we're trying to figure out what we can do and make sure we can move quickly to get back our normalcy. We kind of might have forgotten what normal is to some extent, but I'm excited to see the students in the building, and I'm excited to see that we are moving forward. And to be honest with you, I know it seems stressful with the vaccine and almost kind of waiting your turn in line, but if you look at it on the grand scale of things, we are 2 months or starting our second month into the vaccine process. We've seen large numbers. You can't vaccinate 330 million people overnight, but at the same time, I mean, the rate that we're moving, we all wish it was faster, but we are getting people vaccinated. So I would say there's a lot of hope to it, and I think as we kind of get our feet wet and get moving forward, I think you will see it ramp up into a higher scale. So it's coming, and I think we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Anything else you wanted to add, Bob?
Yeah, I was just going to say, so I want to say thank you to you, and just so everyone understands, right now Thomas with Pools Pharmacy, which is located just off Whitlock, they're working with Cobb and Douglas Public Health to take care of some of our long-term care facilities. So you're making sure that those that are 65 and older and what they call congregate settings are taken care of. So I appreciate and want to thank you for your service to the broader community. And staff, so you know, we're preparing now. We hope that we can do potentially a drive-through service. Thomas is going to walk the campus with Mr. Ball and myself this morning. We'll be prepared. And then students, I promise you, I know we're talking about taking care of the ones we love, our teachers. I promise you that as we get more and more information, likely in the months ahead, about what the vaccine may mean for students, we will make sure that we reach out and share that with both you and your families. Staff, I do want to remind you this evening at 6 o'clock, we're hosting a staff Q&A with Dr. Jackson from Cobb Douglas Public Health, focused on vaccines. So today, Thomas is here to figure out how we would do it. And then this evening, we'll talk with people a little bit more as a Q&A session on just helping you be informed about the vaccine. So thank you, Mr. Ball.
Well, we appreciate Superintendent and the board being super aggressive and trying to get our teachers first in line. And thank you, Thomas. What was your locker number? Remember your locker number?
Oh, no, I'd have to really think on that one.
All right, we'll see if we can find Thomas's original locker, part of the first graduating class here at Marietta High School. Ballroom News out. Stay safe.